So, Deepe, I heard you're going up for independent candidate for Dominica. If you were the Prime Minister, what would you do?
If I was the Prime Minister of Dominica, I woulda get the plug, send them fit boat round the whole Caribbean. Build some factories so people can get work if they want. Yes, I would rise up on the cost of labor so youth can see their future, so they can pull together. I would rush the airport, bring in foreign investors, build some structures to battle up with any weather. Legalize the weed to the fullest, let the thugs go water to make the euro.
A pleasant good afternoon to everyone, and good afternoon to you, Mr. Alex Bruno. Welcome back to another Team Unity Roundtable discussion.
Yeah, man.
Last week we had a very exciting program. I see some persons received it very well. The young lady who with has development ideas for her country, and she is doing her part in making a contribution to the export, increasing the export potential for Dominica, especially in the agricultural sector.
Yes, Petra, I have been looking at her work and I'm so very impressed with her. I always try to share what she puts out and encourage her. I think she's done a fascinating job, and she's certainly a leader in that area. So I commend her, and she was very good in your program. I think you should have had her second time. Maybe not back to back, but sometime soon you should have her again in the future to talk about her work. And she's not just doing agriculture, but she's also providing transportation for agriculture.
Yes.
And solutions to the cultivating of crops and food stuff and so. So free cheers to her.
Based on our discussions, she not only was involved in the transportation of agriculture, is involved in transportation of agriculture, but in regional transportation as a whole. She is trying to get her foot in the door and create opportunities for Dominicans to fly between Dominica and the USVI. So she started. So it started during the independence season with I think it's once weekly flight, or it was more than once a week.
Twice, I think, a week.
Yeah, flights between Dominica and the USVI. So moving not just agriculture but human traffic, but cargo as well. So free cheers to her for doing her part, and I look forward to engaging with even more persons like her as we grow together on our island. People like to sit and talk. Certain people, Alex, the government should do this. Yes, government has to do. But what are you doing as an individual person? Because like our topic says, Dominicans are prepared, motivated, and ready to thrive. They just don't have the support of their policymakers. So this is my opening salvo, Alex. Let you come in at this point.
Well, that's a good topic. And again, the approach to discussing the issues. Interesting. I have always said that we should not sit back and wait on governments to do. Government creates the environment, the enabling environments. They manage the atmosphere. They incentivize the people, as they should.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not government's job to make us flourish or to make us thrive. And if government tries to take on that responsibility, which I think our government has tried to do, that's wrong. It's going to fail the people. The people are the ones who must earn their wealth. Government do not make you wealthy. And anybody who believes that government will give me and I will become wealthy, well, they have the wrong idea. But I think the majority of Dominicans, as you say, are willing to do for themselves. But government and the policies that they make are not allowing Dominicans to do for themselves. And that is a little thing we have to navigate. How we convince enough people that us who are trying to replace the government would give them a better opportunity to thrive, to become wealthy, to become successful.
while at the same time motivating them to do something for themselves, working with the current situation.
Yeah, because people can thrive in rough economies, you know that, right?
Yes.
You just have to know what you're going to do. If you have a job, average 9 to 5 job, working for a firm that is doing retrenchment, cutting back, lowering salaries, because it's better you take a reduced speed and you lose your job. So you'll have problems in a rough economy. But if you are trying to provide services, trying to create stuff, artists, skills people, manufacturers, retailers, wholesalers,
And
service providers.
Alex, I'm glad that you mentioned the artists. And the artists want to thrive. And while we're saying that, we on this, let me big up guys like Issa Bantan who have thrived, and WCK who have thrived in the past, and Triple K who are thriving right now. But they can all thrive even more, and there are opportunities that should be created for the ones who are smaller than them to be able, because not everybody can be the strongest swimmer, Alex. Not
Oh,
everybody can be the strongest swimmer, but we should try our best to create more opportunities for persons within different sectors so that they can better themselves.
I suspect you listened to my program a while ago.
Your program?
I suspect you listened to my program a while ago, man. Because we're saying similar things. We do not all have the same strengths, but we can prop up each other
Right.
to benefit jointly. And at the end of the day, when our country do better, we all do better. So you're right. People, artists, and you pick up Asa, who needs commendations. Asa is he's running an institution. He himself is not an institution because no one person is ever an institution. But Asa has developed a business. What's his business? Daybreak Fit, Breakfast Fit. That's a brand that he promotes very well and he executes with some level of some degree of confidence and professionalism. Once a year, but it's a big item where he doesn't just impact himself,
but it impacts the local economy and not just Grand Bay.
exactly, the entire Dominican economy.
So
No,
I have to big him up.
no, fellas,
For,
fellas,
yeah,
we criticize Asa
right.
and call him labor right and all of that. I don't even know what right Asa is, and it doesn't matter to me. Asa to me is an artist who's doing his stuff. Carlin as well does her work. Cornell, as I say, WCK, Triple K, they're all working. Oh, you know who's working really hard now and who's doing well? Signal Band, Shelly, doing very well. And
Thriving.
if I'm not so sure how well the nasty business guys are thriving, but you cannot not big up the nasty business guys.
Rich is doing well. I think this weekend he came back to Guadeloupe. I think from probably Paris. So these guys are
They,
thriving.
they are moving, man. Ridge, Kenny G, you cannot not big them men up. I am not a moralist or morality police to tell people what they should do. But the business that they're into, they are making money. There are people who are into call girl business. That's what you do. There are men and people who might be interested in indulging. Who am I to judge what people do? But if that's your honest hustle and you're doing, people do and people make. No, I'm not here promoting people to do nefarious.
I was just about to ask you, Alex, you have to be careful.
No, I'm not here promoting any nefarious or unlawful activity.
Communities, yes.
Or unlawful activity. But the last I checked, singing a song that is suggestive is not unlawful.
Oh, I mean, this has been done in time eternal, from times past to present. They're a little more risky right now, but it has been done in the past.
Probably treated and handled differently than it's been handled now, more not as crude.
Correct.
And that is maybe a criticism that is rightfully placed against the nature of the presentation of the nasty business these days. But if the nasty business these days are masked and treated like Sparrow treated them, I'm not too sure they'll have the same juice. We did it for different group or
Right.
different time, so
Correct.
it's just the time.
Correct.
So yeah, find something that works for you that you can make money of. My friend and sister Everglows is doing that.
Oh.
Carlos, she have a little thing, her little mission on Friday.
Evelina is doing a splendid job. I recently joined her thing on WhatsApp, and she regularly has, those people has those statuses, and when you look at it, it's a short thing, but when they have plenty, you just see little dots.
Yes.
When you go on Evelina, name is dots. Dots, Everglow is dots. So, and she has all this from encouraging people to exercise to doing her programs and what she does. But she does philanthropy as well.
She's a
Um,
philanthropist.
yes, so she cuts people hair for regular people, ordinary people cut their hair, and she also encouraging people to live healthy lifestyle, and not forgetting her love for her son, who is the DJ, and she actively, regularly promotes her son.
DJ Rio. She has a good thing going. I cannot remember, because we go way back too. I cannot remember she working for, well, she worked with I think the guy, the police fella, Caprice.
Caprice.
Yeah, for a little while. But Evelina has always been doing her own hustle. Even while she was with Caprice, she was managing her little area well. And the clients would go to her. But I used to go and, tease her, trouble her, talk to her sometimes. She's a very nice person to talk to. But she controlled her little space as if it was a mini space within Caprice space. But she still carried Caprice brand, but Evelina always was Evelina. So she will thrive because
So she created her own niche.
yeah, man, she's making her own money. She's doing her own zafe. Maybe not a lot of money, but she's making it work for her. So that's what I'm saying. Things are rough in the economy, but know what you're good at, do it. My niece, not my niece, my godchild, my daughter, I call her Imani. Imani as well is doing her little thing. I saw she made a viral thing the other day, and I had to call her very quickly and tell her watch it. Because she went viral because politicians make her go viral. And I tell her, look, don't get in the politics with them. Now let them run your thing, but do not go back and do nothing. Don't get partisan. You do your business. And she says, yes, daddy. And she did her little stuff. She too doing her little stuff. People like that doing their little hustle. So find a hustle that works for you and do it well. That is how you survive. Not just survive. That's how you thrive. Because the government has not been doing what the government needed to do for the majority. So the people who are feeling the crunch have to change gears. If you had a liquor shop and you were selling things by £5, that not selling, what are you going to do, Carlos? You're going to close your shop?
No, man, you have to cut it into £1.5. You're mad, man. People still have to use the things.
Exactly.
You have to cut it down. But and interesting that you mentioned that, I've been to certain supermarkets and certain places. You see those, like, you regularly get that in a little mom and pop shop. You can go and buy your little salami. You can buy an ounce of cheese, ounce of salami. But when you go in those established supermarkets, you get in that in whole. You get in a whole long packaging, or sometimes it's 3 in 1. I have been to a popular supermarket and seen that being sliced, So that comes back to that same thing that you're saying there. So if it's not selling in whole, people still want it. You just going to leave it there still on your account and expire? No,
You
you make
repackage.
it. Voila.
You repackage. So again, you can criticize government, and you could take all your time on of criticizing government, or you could put yourself in gear as our sister Petra has done, and show how it can be done, even in a rough economy, and force the government hands to recognize you. So when you go to them next, even if you don't support them and they don't support you, but they will say, boy, I mean, anyway, it is just too glaring for us not to support Carlos. And they may not, because it is tough.
Yes.
You do not have to depend on them. If they don't support you, fine, you continue going. But that is what I think the people want. The people want an opportunity to do things. But Carlos, no matter how hard you try, sometimes if the government, if the system is not enabling, you will not do.
I need to ask you a question. The average Dominican who I will talk to, particularly the young people, they will tell you, boy, right now I'm looking for see if I can make a way for me to go America or go St. Martin, or even just the St. Lucia. Boy, I think I want to go to Lucia, and so on and so forth. What would be your advice to such persons who don't see a way out presently in Dominica?
Well, it's tough to tell people who are surviving what to do for their hustle and to survive. If somebody think going to Antigua and Lucia is a better place to survive, fine, but I don't think it necessarily is, man, because when you move from your backyard, from your habitat to another habitat, you have to first learn to live there and to support people who are living there before you are supported. Because you may get a job and maybe make twice as much you make it in. Well, you may get a job in Antigua, St. Martin's, and Kitts somewhere, but then getting a job is one, but maintaining the decent standard of living that even if without a job in Dominica, you at least had a standard of living that you could maintain. So you have different variables to deal with moving away. Now, if you go in a way and there's an opportunity for you to better yourself, for instance, education is important, skills, entrepreneurship, stuff like that, fine, by all means, yes. But if it's just to survive, you're living one shot to another, I would advise people to look at all the variables and see what you have to do. First of all, where are you going to stay? With whom? How much is it going to cost you to stay there? What about your children, if you have any? Your girlfriend, if you have any? Your wife, your family, husband? You have to look at all the people who are going to be dispossessed by your move. And in many instances, Carlos, it is better that people stay home.
Are you going to operate legally in the country that you're moving to? Are you going to be able to receive all the benefits that persons who are there legally receive? Are you able to live there with no issues? Because if you go to Guadeloupe, for example, you have to look out for the Jadam.
Yeah, and the social services that you might get in Dominica, you certainly will not get it up there until you have your papier, what do you call it again? Your carte séjour or your passport, which takes years. Yes, you might find yourself there in Cabeste and life fast, you're on a motorbike, you do a thing, but at the end of the day, man, what is the quality of life that you're living? What you're going to come back home with? Like Carlos, I have been gone for a while. But you know what? I'm coming back home with, Carlos, right now. If I come back home right now and say I'm not traveling anywhere again, I'm going to sit down in Savanpai, Kalibishi until I die. I left with no degree. I'm coming back home with 4 degrees.
I don't think you're sitting down in Savanpai Kalibishi until you die.
You never know, you know.
I don't think so. You might exist there for sure.
You never know, boy.
But you're not going to sit down there. You'll be doing quite a bit over there.
Yeah, but the point I'm making is you do something that
Yes.
must be measured when you return. But if it's just to survive, to get food, to eat bread, Dominic, look at the Haitians, the Chinese, the Lucians, the Jamaicans, Dane, who's a Dominican now. These people.
You have no idea how much of a Dominican he is.
He's full Dominican.
Yes.
Dash where the Jamaican flag danger.
Man talking patois, Dominican patois and all.
What the head? So people like Nurse Dupi, Chrissy.
Oh, and I think she's on.
She's on. Oh boy,
yeah.
You see, I have to call her name because she left the shores and she has done well for herself. She has acquired skills and expertise that she could not normally get in Dominica. She's built proper. She has earned the property. You know what I'm saying, Carlos? So when you come back, which she will, you can say, I had done more than just surviving. I actually did thrive. And I love to see people do well. I know for sure that my sister, I would not speak too much about her publicly because she's private public. But she is doing well, thank God. I can't talk too much about my family, my blood, Petra, who also I make reference to as well. So there are some of us who go away, not because it is because we really want to go. I was talking to a Dominican young lady I'm helping. And when I told her the things I'm doing, the number of things I'm doing with my friends in Dominica, she says, but Alex, you live in Dominica? And I said, but of course I live in Dominica. I may be residing elsewhere, but I live on the island. I'm working with about 5 people right now with projects in Dominica as we speak. So people may criticize you for being in the diaspora, and Dominica may not be able to take care of everybody in Dominica, but there are some people who must stay at home. And that's why I give my sister Annette Sanford some credit, plenty credit, because Annette is one of the politicians in Dominica who would always take my call when I call Annette. If I call Annette right now, Carlos, she's going to take my call right now.
I thought the man was going to give me some credit for being in there.
I will come to you. I'll come to you. I'm with the man. I'm on a roll. I'm dealing with women now.
Oh, sorry. Delivery women. And good afternoon to our viewers. Thank you for staying tuned to the Team Unity Roundtable discussion. I'm here with Professor and our General Secretary, Mr. Alex Bruno, soon to be a doctor, a real one.
You have real and fake now?
Yes, those anyway, let's leave that alone.
No, man, all doctors are doctors, but as long as you earn your doctorate, you're a doctor.
Some that do earn it, you know. Those given doctors.
Well, I don't know what you're talking. Well, if you're talking about honorary, you look about the honorary doctorship.
Yes.
No, that's not doctor. No, that is a title that is a business. It's a business handle that people give people for reasons, more than one. So, but you don't refer to people with honorary doctorates as doctor. That is not professional. Well, it's not something that people do. You do it, I guess who does it for whatever reason, but you don't really refer to somebody with an honorary doctorate as a doctor, professionally. Only people who earn professional academic doctorates are doctors. And medical doctors and practitioners, dentists and other people like that. But no, not honorary doctors. You don't refer to them as doctors. You shouldn't. It's not something that you should do. So if you see it being used for people who are honorary doctors formally. I think it is just for the aesthetics, but you shouldn't take it seriously.
I don't, but I just wanted to mention it.
Yeah. Yeah, because a doctorate is not an easy thing, man. It's. I think doctors are institutions in and of themselves, and people who have earned it. Like Doctor Triffy.
I was going to ask you about her because
Oh,
you
she's
mentioned persons who left Dominica and earned stuff for themselves, and they bringing back stuff to Dominica.
for the betterment of society.
Yeah,
Society. So
and she
yeah.
is the one. I mean, it's a plus for me that she happens to be my aunt. She's one who is constantly contributing to the Dominican space.
And Simone Matthew as well, Dr. Matthew as well.
Yes,
I mean, I can count on
Dr.
a number of people who have done that.
And by this vein, I'd like to give also credit to Dr. Dale Dangleben as well.
Amazing, man. He's a giant, you know that, Carlos?
Yeah, hi.
I didn't know he was so towering and powerful, not intimidating though. He's just the nicest guy, a very nice, gentle giant, man. He's a no nonsense fella, but he's warm and gentle, man. I worked with him in Orlando at a Dominican event, and he's just a cool guy. He's a contributor, man.
And there are so many other professionals, Dominicans, who have done well for themselves, who have prepared, motivated, and ready to contribute as part of their continuous thriving. Because they are thriving out of Dominica and they want to thrive in Dominica.
Yeah, it's tough to thrive in Dominica right now because we have a stalemate. A stalemate, a political stalemate. We have a group of people in authority
On both sides.
both sides, who do not quite see the evolution that is taking place in the people. And as such, they are dividing the people so that we cannot unite to evolve and to thrive. That's why there is need for a new start. That's where Team Unity Dominica comes in, and there are people who will fight, who will curse, who will damn, who will put post on social media to try to detract. My brother, and they know better, but they are still fighting for their turf because the old political stalemate in Dominica suggests that they should fight. One has been around since 1955 in the name of the DLP. And although Labour is not in power now in Dominica, but we'll talk about that some other time because that's not Labour, that is a power sharing arrangement. And then the other one, well, we don't even have another party in the government of Dominica right now. So it's only one party, so to speak, that enjoys power in Dominica.
Somebody commented to me, a young professional commented to me last week that, Carlos, it's the Freedom Party that's in office right now. I laugh. I say that person has to be listening to you. That person has to be listening. So, you listening to Alex? He said, but that is obvious. Anyway, let's not get distracted from the topic of discussion.
No, it's not a distraction. We're talking about the environment being created or not for people and how people can survive outside of the environment. And you're right. Those of us who understand politics well would understand that the Dominican Labour Party is not in office in Dominica today. I grew up on the milk of Labour. My grandmother, grandfather, I mean, that's all I knew in the house. Both of them died, in Labour. But when my grandfather died, before he died, he was saying, Alexander Labour were there, But we still go vote them. He will vote them, but it's not Labour. He didn't have a very, very strong view of the people who call themselves Labour. And he explained why. And it's true. And I have been saying so for the longest while. Some people are not joining me to say so because it's not expedient for them to say so. But later on, you realize that what I've been saying is true. That Labour has not been in power. And when the real Labour emerge, those real Labour rights will find a home. They will want a home. They will want a place. Hence the establishment of a new idea. Because the existing idea has discarded Labour. Labour should not be discarded in Dominica. Labour is not in power in Dominica. And again, people might say, well, what are you talking about now? He madman. the person who said that freedom is in power, they're not mad either. I would not say freedom is in power. I would say the base of labor was impregnated with freedom support, because the people who are the reddest red now were the greenest green back in the day. So that's what I would say. So as someone who understands politics from the operational point of view, I know TUD, and I'm very proud to be the Gen Sec of the movement. We are ready for a new conversation. In fact, we have started the new conversation, Carlos. And all the people who we are following us, our members who shall remain unannounced until we are ready, can feel assured that they are part of something good. Because for Dominica to get out of where we are today, it has to be something like what we're doing. And there will be multitudes of people being part of it when they finally realize that we have to do different for us to do different.
And this is something that we have been preaching since the start of Team Unity. This is something that Dominicans on a whole have been asking for. And if you talk to Dominicans, the average Dominican on the street, they would tell you, boy, them fellas not ready yet. And they will be saying that not just about one side.
Both sides of the political divide. And fortunately or unfortunately, one side has split themselves out of the power structure. Again, this is not a criticism. This is me giving my objective analysis as someone who is a player in the politics of our country. You don't play yourself out of power, man. You don't do that. We are playing the power game. Some people may criticize and say, oh, we took part in an election that we shouldn't have taken part in. Now, who is to tell us what election we must take part in or not? It's not for you to do. We are a group of in and of ourselves. We look at the situation, look at what people are saying, we look at the country. We did our little polls. Remember, we did our little polls to see what Dominicans were saying? And we go based on what Dominicans were saying in the polls. You can repost what the results were. You can repost. So when parties do things, parties don't do things because they want to. They do things because the people kind of give you the green light to do things. And when you build in a brand, you don't build from perfection or from the top, you build from the bottom. So we are building from the bottom. And we, you know what we have to work with, Carlos? We have over 100 votes. You're always laughing when I say that.
Yes, because the other person, nobody didn't want Team Unity, and I see that comment going out there. Team Unity did not actively take part in an election. Team Unity started a party, and we registered our interest in standing up for Dominica, which was quite the opposite from what a lot of other people. And when others realized what was happening, they started to come around, you know. They started coming around.
But I work for them who say they were not taking part. Let me just say that I'm professional, so I cannot say that. But I will not call the names of people I work for. But I work for them. Professional work, and tell them, look, and when they saw the results, they
leave that alone. Leave that alone.
You know what, independent people who took part in this, it is because of what they see was happening. We had record number of candidates this last time than any other time. We had 45 candidates. We normally have maybe 21 and 42, 40, thereabout. We had 45 with last election. Because people knew what was at stake. And they saw it late. And there are people who did not run after they said, boy, look at what I do.
Boy, I should not have done that.
It was too late because their ego, their emotions got the better of them. But we didn't.
And they would have been going against their general messaging.
Anyway, which should have had change. Because when once elections was called without the reform that was promised, that is when you go into gear and you change strategy. Bam, you change language. Bam, you move from 180 degrees. Whoop. Okay, that's what politics demands that you do. When the rhythm change, you change your fit. You change something now. It's working. If somebody does something that is contrary to what they had been saying and what they promised, you have to change too, my brother. You can't be seeing the currents coming down that way and you swimming against the current. You have to swim with it, because if you swim against it, you will drown. So you have to let the current carry you and keep floating. But when you have to swim against the tide of the ocean, you're in trouble. And that is what happened in the last election. And they're thinking they can shout their way out of it and bully their way and call people like me names. And it's going to work. It's not going to work for them. It's going to work against them.
Alex, can I ask you a question in a thriving topic? Our sister Petra has been doing a wonderful job in what she's doing, without giving away too much. Are there any other ideas that you can think of off the back of your head that Dominicans can engage in to thrive in this difficult environment?
Yes, I can think of many, but I'm not going to share any. No. Outside of what I do with you, I'm a professional as well, and I'm a consultant, I'm a strategist, and people who are interested in doing business. So I'm giving enough free.
Okay.
There are times that you have to cash in from the expertise that you have.
Okay.
So I'm not sure. I will share with Petra, however, which is family, and people who are friends, Chrissy, others. But no, I cannot just come on here and just give things like that, man. Ufu, man.
I have to pick your brains, bro, and see if I see what in our regular engagement, because I want Dominicans to see that there are opportunities available for them in Dominica.
I can tell what people are doing. Like I talk about Evelina.
Yes.
Bingo. Evelina doesn't have to work for anybody. As staff, fans, we church, nobody. Evelina is all right. In my Kalibishi village, there is a guy who was doing bus service. I'm not too sure whether he still does it. But here's what he used to do. When I grew up, all my life in Kalibishi, we used to go to Roseau in the mornings on a truck. These old 3-ton, 1-ton, 5-ton trucks.
Bedford?
Bedford trucks, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what we used to go to Roseau and school as well. So the truck would leave Kalibishi for the morning, 5:30 when second cock or third cock crow. And the truck is so slow, it takes about 2.5, 3 hours to get to Roseau. By 8:15 we're in Roseau. So that was one trip up, one trip down. And then times change, we got into bus, Gregory. So one bus would leave sometimes at 6 because they go faster. And another bus leaves at 7. I think Mountain would leave at 7, Gregory leave at 6. So if you do not get the first bus, you get the second bus. And Paul used to go down Posse as well. He used to go Roseau too, with his little van, people who want to, but he was a very slow driver. So you can sometimes take the van to go around 7 o'clock. So that is the people transportation to Roseau. There's a guy, I think, who started doing bus business from Kalibishi. He would not leave once. He would just keep going Roseau as the day goes. So he would leave in the morning, go Roseau, come right back, go back Roseau, come right back, go back Roseau. Makes about 4 or 5 trips in Roseau every day. Who's going to get the business? Him. Because people know that they can go Roseau anytime and come back anytime by waiting for the bus. So he just continued doing the cycle. And he would go up Marigot, come down Posse, go Marigot, come down Posse. Bingo. How many local drivers are doing that right now? And that is a model that he invented in Kalibishi. And he used the route well. He go north, northeast, come back south, go west, go. So he made a total round around Dominica 3-4 times a day, every day. So no matter what time you want to go Roseau or leave Roseau, you're going to get a bus to go Kalibishi. That can drop you Marigot, drop you Portsmouth, drop you Wesley. So I'm talking about doing creative things. D-Les Warrington, again, a brother from my village, one of the smartest boys in the day. He did O-levels, did college. He never went to work for anybody. Do you know what Cock did? They call him Cock. Very sharp, handsome, smart. All my life, I knew Cock working for himself as a farmer. Agriculture. He would go to work, dress up like me if he's long sleeve. Clean. He have people working for him. and he manages his field. Make a lot of money doing his business. So there's work in Dominica. It's just you to organize yourself and do the work in a way that's going to be sustaining. Look at the people, the hair places in Roseau. Who have the hair places? I know Campeche, and Campeche made a lot of money doing hair. Shirley, who I think the last time I met him, he was in Georgia doing hair. That's a big business. Who have the hair business in Dominica right now? Not Haitians, no? And maybe
Yeah.
one to Dominican.
Dominicans, yeah, I mean, there's Cupchi's barbershop in Bath State. There is Shelley's brother Richie has taken over the business. Shelley used to operate. I think right now, I think Richie owns the building.
Good.
And there's this barbershop that I go to in Roseau. Well, I go to Cupchi's as well as Bedge in Pottersville. And thing is still operating in Portsmouth. Tall basketball.
Bubbles, not Bubbles. I know, I forgot his name. Yeah, he's
And
on Bay Street.
on not Bay Street, on the street right across from the Savannah.
Yeah,
Yes,
not brand by, you know.
that's my brother, and I keep forgetting his name.
So that is good. Those people stay in the business.
And that business created other barbershops in Portsmouth, because Portsmouth now has maybe 3-4 barbershops. And
That is what I'm talking about. And these guys don't have to worry about government. Yes, they may support their labor or whoever they support, but I don't care who they support. They are doing their business and they are building their homes because they're consistent.
Mhm.
They're consistent. So you do something because people here must grow. People will always need to cut their hair if you give them a good service. If every time you go to get like a means to suck, or you the way Campeche used to groom me, man, with my little powder, with my little aftershave, and he used to. I mean, Campeche pampered you when you went to Campeche. So I would go to Campeche every week. Sometimes on my little stress, Campeche had the touch, right? He was firm, but he was gentle, and he made you feel good when you left his place. Give you a little joke, crack a little joke. So if you're doing a business and you're providing a service, you provide a service. As Petra always says, you have to be in the business of service and understand what the people want and give it to them. So I am not going to reinvent the wheel and tell you go and do anything different. Just see what Dominica has. Dominicans need service. Monel, Alexis is one of the people that I have my eyes on. She's somebody who is very industrious. And probably maybe she should think of having her own corporation. She would make much more money if she was doing her own thing, if she's brave enough to go on her own. Oh, no, I wouldn't talk about Emo. Emo to me is one of the best models that we have in terms of media. And Emo knows how I feel about what she should be doing as well. Emo could be doing much, 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 much better if Emo was working for herself fully. But again, that might be controversial to even say live. So Carlos, people must just see the opportunities that we see, that some people see, like the Chinese see, like the Haitians see, and set up shop to make lots of money in Dominica. There's lots of money to be made in Dominica.
I want to see people in Dominica. I want our Dominicans to come back home. I want them to bring a lot of this expertise and ideas and energies that they have in these other countries. Even persons like yourself. Well, I cannot put you in that category because you're doing so much work in Dominica, even while out. That doesn't apply for you. But you get the point that I'm trying to make. I want our Dominicans to come back home so we can thrive together in our country. Everybody, like you mentioned in another program, everybody doing their part in their niche that they specialize in, and we come together for the common good of our country. We're pushing towards that goal. We want to make Dominica say carbon neutral. You have a goal of making Dominica carbon neutral, and everybody has their different part to play in making sure that happens. Whether it be that we invest more in renewable energy, individually or collectively, or however way, shape, or form that we do it. And if the government doesn't want to do it at the level that we would like, let's find ways of doing it ourselves.
But at the end of the day, the government has to respond to what people do, you know. If government don't want to do, you have to let government do, you know, Carlos. And for people to come back to Dominica, government must have policy in place that welcomes people back. When we become the government, we claim it by the name of the creator. One of the major programs we are going to do is to create a citizenship or a re-entry citizenship for Dominicans who are living abroad with expertise who wants to come back to invest in our country. You give them the same amenities, the same concessions as you give the foreign people.
The passport buyers.
Yeah, and say, look, if you
And even more. I want
more.
you to come back home. Come home. Come. Let's work and build our country. In 5 years, Dominica would see a complete turnaround.
At the end of our first term, we would have given at least 5,000 Dominicans the kind of incentive that would say, somebody like me, no, not me, forget me, I'm home. But somebody like, let's say, Ian, oh boy, again, that's a good person. Ian Blanchard. You remember Ian Blanchard, Cleveland Wireless?
Yes. You remember Felix Augustine Jr.?
Yes. If we are in government today, we would establish public policies that would attract people like them. For Ian to say, boss, it is worth it to take my entire family and relocate to my country because the government is giving me assurance to build the house that I would like.
Yes.
On the property that I would like, with all the concessions that goes with it.
And I would be able to live the lifestyle that I would like.
Yeah, but there is a catch. I have to create business. I have to create employment. I have to create a new kind of informatics business that employs at least 500 Dominicans. And my plan must give me at least a 10-year, 20-year plan of development. If you come with that in the government, people like Ian, Felix Augustine Jr., Dale Dangleben et al. Would come back home under our plan. Because, boss, if Dominicans only understood and knew that they had the support of government in the way that they would like.
And don't forget Dr. Wallace, sir.
Yeah. They would come, build their wonderful homes. We have no issues with that. In fact, we would create a community for Dominicans who are skilled and experienced returning. Not to put them away, but we create a wonderful community and we celebrate them. And then we say, look, but all we need from you is businesses. We want you to employ 300 people, 400 people. Can you imagine if 1,000 people came back and employed 300 people each? How much is that, Carlos?
We would have a flood of people coming back home from other islands of the Caribbean wanting to come back and get those jobs. And not just Dominicans. We would have problems with other countries because some of their citizens would go, boy, Dominica, booming, boy. You're not hearing what happening in Dominica? Dominica is booming. Let's go, Dominica, boy. That is the kind of environment I would like to see going on in Dominica.
But that's what we are proposing. That's what we are going to. That's what we are telling the people. Hold on, Dominicans, hold on in the name of Scrum.
There is hope.
There is hope.
We are that hope.
Because we come with a clean, contrite, and honest mindset to elevate Dominica. Because Dominica is not difficult to manage. You put people like Petra, again, I would call Petra name because she's just a fantastic person, Chrissy et al. To manage certain things in Dominica and give them the government policy to help them to do it, they're going to flourish. To create 50 jobs in Portsmouth, that's a lot of jobs. And I bet if you give those people the support, Chrissy will create at least 40 jobs in Paybush, in Benson and Zimane and Solda, in Calibishi. It is possible. My sister Ali Matthew, she's creating service and she employs a few people in Calibishi. We want more people like Ali to create and set up shop, to create businesses and employ people. That's all Dominicans need is opportunities for them to take care of the things that they want and need. You can't expect a politician to tell you, come and get that to go and pay your light bill every time. We will not do that as a government. We will give you money, and opportunities for you to do it yourself. there'll be no need for us to do that. So we are very clear-eyed about what we want to do for the people. We are just setting up shop to be able to sell the package to the people. Hopefully, we get into government with some other people if we have to.
Not hopefully, we will. We
And
will.
then we put Dominica back to work. Dominicans want to work, Carlos. A sister of mine, Carlos, daughter I should call her because she's young. She's written to me 2 years now asking me to help her to develop a plan for a business. I can help her, but then there's money involved and I don't have the money to give. If only I had the money or access to government money, she would be a business person today. She messaged me 2 days ago and said, another season started and still my business dream have not come true. It hurts my heart, Carlos. I want to help them, but Carlos, I'm only one man. And if I have 30, 40, 50 people a day asking me for help, how am I going to survive? And while people in government are getting large,
bigger salaries.
Do they increase their salary by how much?
At least 40%.
And boy, so that is what we're working with. And that's where TUD is. And that's why I'm so happy to be part of what you're doing, Carlos. I give you a look at me to get other people on, but I do not mind coming on with you because I was part of something like this in the past and I didn't do what I'm doing right now. And I apologize how many times and will continue to apologize that I didn't do it right. But right now, I'm doing it right. The beauty in life is to fail and get up and move again. And that is what we are doing. We are about a clean entrance in doing things, Dominica, and running politics a progressive way. We are not opposition. We are the alternative. And our job is to find solutions to the problems that the people are facing, Carlos. And if we can get that message to the people, if the people on Q and DBS and Kyrie would allow us on their airwaves, Dominicans would be hearing this and they would have more hope than they have today.
As we close, Alex, allow me to just pause and recognize some Dominicans, but even who close to me that we lost recently, and even those who are not close to me. I feel the pain for the families who are affected. When I say this, I think of one of my former clients, that is Ronald Astafan. He recently passed away. Circumstances, well, wait for the police report. As well, I think of my dear friend who her funeral was on Thursday last week. I'm making reference to Shari Augustine, who recently passed away in Houston, and this young man who circumstances of his death seems to be that he took his own life in Roseau, Bath Road, and there are a few others. I just want to tell the family that we empathize with you. We feel your pain together with you, and we ask that you remember the positive sides, the memories, the positive memories as you try to get over, or you may not fully get over right away. But we ask that you hold on to the positive memories and stay closer to the Father, especially in times like this.
Well, I'm happy that you raised these issues. That's why I did not do a program last week, because all the people that you call, I am also affiliated with them in very, very close ways. Ronald was certainly a dear friend, a supporter, a sponsor, a partner, a guide, a motivator. Ronald fed me every Saturday for years while I'd work at DBS. I've owned around myself. Every morning we'd go to Ronald and he would feed us the best breakfast. So when people feed you, when people take care of you, remember them. And Ronald and I had been very close. My teacher too, I lost my teacher, my grade 3 teacher, Miss James as well. So I decided to take a break last week because you realize I wasn't on. I was just so overwhelmed with so many things and other issues happening in Dominica and the government maladministration. It was just overwhelming, and I just needed a little time to centralize myself. And I got criticized for doing that. People are so insensitive that I decided because of everything else, I just needed to retool. And I was being criticized by people publicly. People were saying that I give up, and I'm asking other people to give up. And I'm like, wow, how crude can we be? How cold do we get sometimes? So we find ways to cope, and I just wanted a break. I just wanted a Sunday off. So I could re-energize and come back again to the mission, which I did today and which we are doing right now. So my heart goes out again to the family of all the deceased mentioned, and the people who are just suffering tremendous pain. Those people who are sick right now. I know a sister of mine who is in the ICU as we speak. I didn't expect her to be there, but when I got the news, I had to deal with it as well. And I wish I was there for her right now, standing next to her bed and talking to her. Because we have unfinished business to speak about. Because she lost her husband not long ago, and her husband and her shared my niece, who's not doing well now because, of how things are. So I want to be there. It is tough. So sometimes we just have to take a little moment, and I needed a moment last week, I'm telling you. I'm not going to force myself to do what I really don't have the strength to do. And I say woe be to the people who felt that, well, the one particular person who promoted it as a game that I was giving up and people should give up, and I say people should give up to. I felt sometimes we don't understand how much we hurt people by just being silly or insensitive. And
I can tell that really offended you.
it hurt me, man. It hurt me. And the person know themselves. Make a big public post, about Alex say he give up and other people, like whoever should give up. I'm like, really, man? So, yeah, Dominicans are going through a lot, and I feel the pain of every Dominican. I cannot criticize my people. No Dominican is to be blamed for the things that they're going through. Even those who voluntarily support what is seem to be bad, I still believe that they are good inside. It is just that probably circumstances, maybe greed, whatever it is, but I'm not going to call people out and dismiss people and throw them and dismiss them.
Boy, Alex, I tell you, I mean, yes, it's hard in Dominica, and even through my daily journeys, as I move around meeting people, the conversations can be overwhelming. I can tell you, people show you their standard of living and the things that they would like to achieve, and
Carlos, if I was living on the island right now, if I were some of the people who live on the island right now, I would be doing exactly probably what they're doing. Go to the prime minister, go to ministers for help. If I was in a position where I could not take care of my family, Carlos, I don't have money to feed my family, probably I will maybe do whatever I have to do to feed my family too. But thank to the Creator, at least I can hustle. And again, my grandmother and my mother and my father and my grandfather taught me well. So I would not be like some people. Because some people have become too comfortable with their college degrees and depending on a prime minister. So I can say that, but I'm not going to say, well, they're not good because they're doing that, but I want them to support me. I hope that they realize, look, we can do better if we work it out and let us not depend on them. But my job is not to castigate people. Because people have reasons, my brother, for doing the things that they do. And in the situation that Dominica has found itself, my brother, we have to craft a way out of it. We can't blast our way and shame people out of it. You need people. You need to impress people. You need to show them love and empathy. And to show them a way. Say, look, I have a flashlight for you. That's where we're going to walk. You can't be cursing and expect me to support you to help me to fix our country. And that is where I come into the picture, my brother. And that is what I hope community continues to do. Because the day that the party goes down the other road, I'm not with the party. I can tell you that. I can tell you that, Carlos. Dominica needs a healing. We need love. We need empathy. And that's what I aim to do. Even while some people try to kill me and make me look like a bad guy. It bothers me sometimes, but sometimes I say, you know what? The next generation will see me for what I really am. It doesn't matter what they say now.
And that is our program, folks. See you when we get back here the next time. Same place, same social media platforms. We ask you to those who came on late, if you can go back from the beginning and look at the replay, and those who will watch it later, we ask you to look at our other programs where we talk of the things that we would like to do differently for Dominica. Team Unity is all about solutions. So with that, I'd like to thank Mr. Bruno for joining me again. Till the next time, I'm Carlos Charles, the Unity leader for Team Unity. Thank you for joining us.
Cheers.